G'day listeners, welcome to Bar Karate, the sailing podcast for what is the first of a special edition broadcast. We're covering the Sydney to Hobart, why not? We're Australian, and we're going to do a pre-event race. So, joining me is my good friend.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice. Bicey, you normally get introduced second. What's going on?
Yeah, no, well, we're missing our compatriot BP, who's preparing for the big race. But I was just going to say the Wolverine was purring this morning. Maybe a few too many eggnogs yesterday, but who knows? Maybe it was just something during the night, maybe.
Is that right? Right? Well.
But, good day had by all, and Nerves down at the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia today will be running high. So good luck to everyone competing, and it looks like a pretty good race. What do you think?
Yeah, it does look like a pretty good race. I reckon, you know who the race is going to be really good for?
Tell me more.
The bookmakers.
Oh, yeah.
The bookmakers.
The bookies. Yes.
Because it's Cole Langford trying to dial us. That's because there's going to be quite a bit going on in terms of the weather. It's not a give me. There's like big holes in it and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I had a quick little look this morning, and it does look like there's a pretty big light patch. So whoever can navigate around that when they kind of the northern end of Bass Strait, looks as though that could be the winning manoeuvre at this point in time.
Yeah,
who knows? Yeah.
I agree. So, well, let's just talk about the race. I'm just sending Langford a quick note, and then we'll talk about the weather. So, it's the 75th edition of the race, first run in 1945. 630 nautical miles, 1,170 kilometres, 1 o'clock start, and the winner gets the Tattersalls Cup. The winner is the person on rating, okay, not over the line as most of normal media in Australia thinks. So,
Correct.
The Hobart's a big deal, yeah? It's a big deal.
Yeah, she's definitely top of the list down this neck of the woods, and you would say, between the Sydney Hobart, the Fastnet race, Middle Sea race, actually, they're all Rolex races, aren't they? Correct. They know what they're doing. Yep. Actually, that's who's the winner's going to be, Rolex. Yeah. but she's one to do on your calendar. Actually, my old man said there's a couple of things you got to do, son, in your life. One is own a racehorse. Two, do the Sydney to Hobart, and I won't let you know what the third one is.
Knowing your old man, that it could be all sorts of dangerous stuff there. Dear. Your poor mum, that's all I'll say.
Or my poor wife, for that matter.
Your poor wife, exactly. Those women had no clue what they were getting themselves in for. And your poor son, because he's going to get the same piece of advice, isn't he?
Oh, no, I've already told him. I put it in his Christmas card yesterday. Couple of things you got to do in life, son.
Couple of things you got to do in life. All right, well, Bossy, let's just... because we're going to talk to a few of the Line Honours favourites, and we're going to talk to a few of the handicap favourites. But before we do that, let's just have a quick look at the weather. It looks, like we said, challenging. So completely, as Mark Bradford said in our last edition, where he said, that nobody wants to actually forecast what the weather's doing. And then one of us idiots said, I know exactly what the weather's going to do, and it's completely opposite to what he said.
Who was that idiot?
That was me. That was me. It looks like it's going to be a nor'easter at the start, and then probably going to hit some sort of ridge where there'll be a southerly change around about when they hit the Victorian border. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. And then it's then a question of how that light spot sneaks across the from east to west to east rather, and how big that light spot is. And what's going to happen there. That's what I'm seeing at the moment, but it's all for change. Actually, one question I had, and maybe we can get it when we chat to our friends in Sydney, is what the smoke is doing up there.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a clear day?
Yeah. It is a very interesting question. No doubt about that. If you haven't been in Australia for the start of Sydney Hobart, it's definitely something worth doing. You know, it's a family tradition, much more important in my family than Christmas. You know, like it's sitting down together and watching the Hobart start is absolutely a mandatory in my family, and it's probably the same for you, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. In saying that, it's kind of the time of year when you're not doing it that you really wish you were doing it. That's gone through my head several times in the last few weeks, and had a few offers to have a crack, but that's just part of the way the cookie crumbles at this point in time. But it's always good to be out on the racetrack, and as I said before, there'll be a few nervous bodies. The butterflies will be buzzing around in a few stomachs down there today, but looking at the weather, not too much to worry about from getting it pasted, for that matter.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a fun one for sure. An absolute ton of fun and tactical, which is the perfect sailing race, really. No one calls me anymore, Bice. I wonder what I've done. Maybe no one actually thinks I can sail.
Well, they've just assumed the Ginger Challenge is going ahead, so you were actually take it out.
All right. Okay, well, we'll roll into interviews. As I said, the major contenders. We didn't talk to Blackjack because we've got a whole episode on discussion with Blackjack. So if you want to hear about what Blackjack are thinking, just listen into episode 27 for a full discussion.
What I do want to add about Blackjack is all the mods that they did do. As chatting with Squark, they hadn't lined up too well yet with anyone. But the mods are to make the boat go faster downwind. And the mods are really, this could be their race.
Yep.
Definitely for the first day and a half, to put them in a commanding position, or the first day for that matter.
Yep.
And if it is semi-light, like the boat is super light, the boat's moded for downwind mode. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them running at the top of the fleet.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Exactly. I'm wondering whether we should talk about... So we're going to talk to a bunch of different boats, but let's actually just answer one question I thought, because we'll talk to the same people as everyone else will. Have we got any outsiders? Have we got any dark horses? You know, our mate Sandy Higgins just bought a new boat and it's called it Dark Horse. So it made me think, have we got any dark horses out there?
Well, the other dark horse, of course, is JH and Hendo, their little Australia-wide company called Dark Horse Rigging.
Yep.
And they'll be on the Comanche, but they're hardly a dark horse, I would say.
No.
As for me, I'm quite happy and willing to kind of put my money behind one of the interstate boats. Like, everyone gets all the attention, especially the New South Wales boats and the top end of the fleet, but maybe one of the Corinthian jobbies, and I'm going with Enchantress from the Royal South Australian Yacht Squadron. Yeah. 36-footer, strip plank, timber boat, Western Red Cedar, beautiful looking boat. John Muirhead, his boat. So that's who I would be keeping a little bit of an eye on, being a bit of a SA boy. Yep.
All right. Well, that's good. So I have one too, and I looked this one on the odds. It's 34-1. And those are crazy numbers for this boat, crazy numbers. So I'm thinking of Abbott's Vamp. Abbott's Vamp is a West Australian boat, so it's been hiding in the dark. It's been entered by Paul Eldrum and Chris Higgins. So Eldrum is a multiple world champion in Sailor. It's a Corby 49, full carbon fibre job.
Right.
Yep. Tactician is Nathan Wilmot, Olympic gold medalist. Navigator, Brian Northcott. A whole bunch of young hot sailors. So match racing champ Will Bolden's on there. Josh Wyjon from New Zealand's on there. A whole bunch of young talent on this boat. And at 34s, you just got to put some money on it. I reckon that's a boat that's going to be one to watch. So the Interstaters, let's give them some love.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not unusual to see an Interstater get up and certain times, and that's definitely happened throughout the years. So let's see how these guys get on.
Cool. All right, let's roll into our interviews. So the first of the interviews we're going to do is we're going to chat to Cole Langford. For those who haven't got down deep yet, he was on episode 9 of Barkarati and had a great chat to him. He's probably the busiest man in sailing at the moment, and he's just come in from doing the Moth Worlds, rolling straight onto Comanche. So we'll ask him about the Moth Worlds, finishing second you had you came a close second, Kyle. Did you think you had a chance of beating Slingers?
Yeah, I mean, the Moth Worlds, it was such an awesome event. I mean, it was the perfect foiling venue over in Perth, and the boats have kind of really evolved a lot in the last few years. But I was, in second place going into the event. I had a little bit of confidence that I could take a few races off Slingers. I had kind of pretty good boat speed, but, in the end, he was just, he was fast and he was sailing better than everyone else. So he kind of, wiped the fleet and, couldn't really even touch him. So that was a little disappointing, but pretty stoked to get second overall.
Oh, mate, absolutely. Grand effort. It's that if you were told at the beginning of the regatta you were going to get a second, you'd definitely take that, right? So, well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thanks, mate. I kind of had no expectations going into it. I did a 3-week training block on Lake Macquarie at home with Tom Burton. And, neither of us really knew where we were going to sit in the field, but, we knew that we were close together and, but, no expectations against the rest of the guys. So, yeah, absolutely stoked to kind of come out on the podium.
You did a bit of different rig development as well. So obviously those boys all went the North program and you went the Doyle program. So, but you did all your training together, didn't you? Because you were doing stuff in Sydney as well with those boys as well, I believe.
Yeah. So Tom Burton and I would train up on the lake during the week, and then we'd go down to Sydney and train with Slingers, Babs, Rob Greenhale, and all those guys in Sydney who were going really quick. Yeah. And so it was good, to go and check in with them, but trying to do our best to stay off Sydney Harbour because it just gets so busy. And then we go up to the lake and there'll be no one there, and it'll be nice flat water, very similar to the river in Perth, and and kind of do our speed testing there.
She's a glamour place to sail, Lake Macquarie, isn't she? Absolute glamour place.
Yeah, I'll probably harp on it a bit too much, but yeah, I love it there.
Yeah. I was going to ask something really important, but it's just dropped out of my head. So, who was the sort of your main threat? Like, who you most worried about during the racing?
During the Moth Worlds?
Yep.
I was going into it, there's a whole handful of guys who are fast and who are going well, and then kind of as the series developed, Slingers kind of shot out ahead, so I wasn't so worried about him, and it was all about Tom Burton. And obviously a Olympic gold medalist and a bloody good sailor, and also a good mate of mine. So we had a good rivalry together, and he was always the guy I was kind of looking over my shoulder, waiting for him to come out of nowhere. And his speed wasn't as good as mine, but he's a bloody good sailor. So he would make up for it with tactics and starting well and really good manoeuvres. So he was always there, kind of nipping at my heels.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Mm.
I reckon there must have been some funny banter between you and Slingers, though, having sailed together so much on the on the Sail GP boat.
Yeah, well, in the pre-worlds, I was only a couple of points behind him and took a few races off him, and he was worried, and everyone was kind of saying, you're probably going to take the helm next year, which
that's what I was wondering.
I would never want to do. I've driven the boat, a couple of times, the 50, and was completely out of control. I'm more than happy to sit on the wing and let him take control of that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. Okay, well, congratulations, mate. We were really proud of you. We love you as a bloke, so we're super happy for you.
Cheers.
Rolling on to Sydney Hobart now. You got a crap ride though. You're going south on the Comanche.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough race. I'm actually sitting on the bow of it now. We've just loaded all the sails and put all our gear on board, and it's upsetting to have to go on a boat like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's an absolute weapon, of course, the Comanche. And how's the weather shaping up for that weapon of a boat with a huge amount of riding moment?
The weather's looking okay. I still wouldn't say it's favouring us. It's just kind of changed a little bit overnight where, we're starting and we're upwind out of the harbour, and then we, of course, the right-hand turn, and we're downwind in kind of 25 knots overnight until midnight. Then the breeze is kind of dropping out to nothing, which doesn't suit us. And then it starts to build again and kind of a little bit reachy. So the reaching is good for us. The downwind up until 25 knots is good for us, but surprisingly, over 25 knots of wind, Wild Oats is actually stronger VMD running than us. And
sure.
And so we're kind of hoping for 20 knots downwind, and we'll feel comfortable against those guys. And and then we've just got to get through that light transition early on the morning of the 27th, and hopefully if we get through there unscathed, we can kind of be fighting with those guys all the way to the finish.
Yeah, and if you're just crack sheets or reaching, that's obviously where you guys can stretch your legs quite a bit. Do you feel Oates is kind of the biggest threat?
I think so. I mean, Oates is a known quantity. We know that they are good. They've got a really good team and done a lot of work to their boat over the years, so they're super competitive. And I guess the unknown is Blackjack. They've done a lot of modifications this year, and I certainly haven't seen them sail. And Comanche, we haven't lined up against them yet, so they are the unknown quantity. And I mean, I guess they've put a lot of thought into their mods, and I'm sure they're going to be competitive as well. And then on top of that, you've got Scallywag, who are also a bit of an unknown. They've done a lot of sailing this year overseas, and I'm sure they've improved the performance of their boat. And then, of course, there's always InfoTrack. So I think that, I mean, we're focusing on the Oates just because they are, they have the track record. But I guess any of the 500s are going to have their moment.
Yeah. What did Bradford said? Squark says that your tactics on your boat is that you just point it south and send it. Is that right, or you got other tactics involved?
Well, pretty much. I mean, you've got to play to your boat's strengths, and we are fast in the sending conditions, and that's what we're going to be doing. And we've just got to pray that we can kind of hold it together through the light stuff, and hopefully we've built enough of the gap that we can kind of fend off an attack in the light. Yeah,
because you did the Transpac with that thing this year, didn't you, as well, when you won the Line Honours, didn't you?
Yeah, did the Transpac this year, and that was a downwind race. And I mean, the nice thing about this team is that we've all put quite a bit of time into it now, and kind of refined it. So I think compared to what was a few years ago, the performance of the boat has certainly stepped up a lot in the light, and we've got specific sails for the light, whereas before it was more of a everything was geared up for sending it basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
No boat I'd much rather do an ocean crossing on than that one, I reckon. She's a cracker.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome boat to sail, and also with the powered winches now, you kind of trim it and sail it like a dinghy, so it's just a 100-foot skiff, and it's awesome.
Oh, jealous. All right, man. Boss, you got anything else?
No, just to say good luck and send our best to all the boys on board, and make sure you do actually send it, and look forward to a few stories from Customs House.
Yeah, we'll be there, hopefully.
Oh,
we'll take it safe.
Yeah, good to see you, mate. Be safe. Have a great trip.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
All right, now we're crossing over to Tony Mutter on InfoTrack, one of the Line Honours favourites. Tone, welcome to Barkarati, mate. Good to hear you.
Yeah, hi guys, and hello everyone. Thanks for having me on the show.
Anything for you, bud?
Anything.
Anything.
Don't tell us, Tone. What's how's the vibe down on the dock? You just mentioned you're down at Woolwich. There's probably quite electric down there, I'd say.
It sure is. We're parked here right behind Wild Oats, and they've got a big crowd around their boat, and we've got a smaller crowd around ours. So we always get a decent send off from here. It's really good, actually. Yeah, the locals really sort of take us on in the mornings and give us a bit of a cheer out.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Love it. Good. How many red shirts have the Oatleys got down there, mate? Is it
right now, it's a good percentage, I have to say. Yeah, they're sprinkled around everywhere. In fact, anywhere in Sydney, you'll see a red shirt. There's so many of them.
Well, let's
Even
talk
on the harbour
about
on other boats. There's people with red shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your boat, mate. So,
sure.
Christian Beck bought it's the old Perpetual Laurel for those that don't know, and renamed her InfoTrack, which is, I believe, Christian's company.
Yep.
You've done a few mods to the boat over the last year or so. Is that right?
Not really. No, we haven't. We had big plans for it, and we put everything on hold, just waiting to see what the other boats were doing. And we've been operating actually on a really restricted budget this year.
Okay.
We decided just to lean it right out. So we are only spending a little bit of money. We've only added one J1 jib this year, and that's it.
Oh, maybe I was thinking of the changes you did the year before when you first got it. Maybe that's what I was.
We did a lot. We did a lot of updating of the gear and equipment the year before. It needed it, because after I sailed it with Belly as Perpetual Loyal in 2016, we got the record.
Yep.
And everyone said that record will last for 20 years, and it lasted 12 months. The boat was done by then, like we use every last bit of equipment to its end of life and beyond. So last year we ended up having to replace a lot of sails and gear and ropes and stuff. So it was a lot of expense for stuff that you can't really see. But we got the boat going pretty decent, and we've been using these new dual sails, which seem to have given us a bit of a lift. They're a lot lighter and getting quite a performance going, which has been good.
Oh, cool! Very cool.
Well, and you've got a good bunch on board, and you guys have been together for quite some time now, right? So quite confident with everyone's ability and working as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're running essentially. I have like this nucleus of international guys that we always keep getting back ever since it was Perpetual Loyal, and they're all ex-Volvo sailors or on the international circuit, and they've been really good, and they love coming down here. We can't, as I say, we're not a big budget team. We can't afford to pay too many dollars, but we provide good housing, and it's a good atmosphere, and it's in the off season, so it's sort of for the Europeans, so it works for us pretty decent. Wow. Yeah, so we got Nico, and Brad Jackson down the back this year. We've got Bradshaw Callett is now doing his debut navigation on the footer fleet. Yeah,
he finally got off the bow.
I've never seen him on the bow. He keeps mentioning something about the bow, but he's got a set of slippers now, mate. So he's not going there. Yeah.
You got a couple of young Volvo guys on there as well, and just make sure you clip Alex Goff on.
Yeah, no, he's all good. Yes, we give him a good ribbing every time we have our safety talk. We ask him to talk about swimming in warm water. He doesn't recommend it.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
These big, as you guys know, these big boats move pretty quick, so we are pretty safety conscious. Like that's your worst nightmare, having someone on the water, and really don't want it.
What about with the forecast, mate? Any tactical plays? We think we know what you're going to do, so we're just interested to hear what you say yourself.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Look, the way the EC and the GFS, the two main weather models, are saying the same thing at the moment. For us, for the wide boats, we basically just want us to rip southeast as fast as we can at a hot angle, try and get around the end of the trough, and that's the way we escape. I think after listening to the red shirts down on the wall with clouds, they're looking at a different option, I would think.
Yep.
So I'm going to make a prediction right now. I reckon there'll be a split between skinny boats going close to land down, and the other boats, like Comanche and ourselves, going wide.
Either up and putting the foot down.
Yeah, trying to get round. We have to keep. I mean, we're big boats, mate. We need the wind, and if we don't have wind, we're glued to the ocean,
Yeah.
And the little boats can really embarrass us if there's no wind. Yeah. They glide along beautifully, I have to say.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I think Bicey and I can both confirm we've heard pretty much the same discussion for all across the fleet. So we can't
nice.
tell you anything different, but that's what we're hearing.
Right. Good.
Cool. You ever considered not doing a Hobart, mate?
Well, I have to say the Hobart's kind of a new thing for me. I mean, I've only really started in 2013, so I'd always sort of thought it was a bit sort of antisocial, because it's a bit hard on the time of year with a family, and you can't, it seems a bit weird, but as it's turned out, it seems like I've got the bug now, and the wife still allows me to do it. So, and it's good fun. So it's an awesome race, I have to say.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, good test, and good atmosphere, and great people. Like all the competitors are awesome people. They're all going through. It's like the Volvo, and just on a shorter time frame, they're all going through the same stuff, and they all respect one another. So I think it's a great atmosphere. Good for yachting. Good sport.
Good work. Cool. All right. Well, mate, for me, I haven't got anything more. Have you got anything more, boss?
No, just best of luck, Tone, and best of luck for everyone on board, and stay safe and have a good one down south.
Will do. Thanks very much, fellas.
Yeah, mate.
We'll talk again soon.
Well, we'll catch you at the end. We'll ring you while you're in the bar when you get to the other end.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, mate. Nice special.
Yeah. All right, mate.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
All right, so next up, we'll have a bit of a chat to the boys on the Wild Oats. So ringing up one of my good mates, Mr. Chris Links. I think he's good mates with you as well, boss.
Yeah, we've done a few miles back in the day, so good to have you on board, Dempsey.
Yeah, thanks for checking in with us.
Yeah, mate. So on the Wild Oats, the program, you've been on the Red Shirt program for quite a while. I see you on camera every Sydney Hobart, just smiling, and you've got a pretty nice lifestyle. The boat's going well. It's a bit of a legendary boat, and you're part of that legendary crew. Do you think it's all your work?
What was that last bit? Sorry.
The whole legend of the Wild Oats. It's all down to you, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. Bicey, you've been on board and sailed with us on this boat and this program, so you know how much work goes into it. From the Oatley's involvement that are so into it and so supportive of the program, to all the guys. We've got a few new guys that have started to filter through the team, and their commitment's massive. And as you saw, with that cabbage tree, the damage we've done, the boys, Paul McGee and all our shore team have just worked tirelessly to get us back on the water for this race. So that's what makes a good team,
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. It's all the stuff that happens off of the racetrack that makes a good team. And since obviously what happened in Cabbage Tree, and now you're back, you've been out on the water, fully tested, and I'm guessing running with 100% confidence from that point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a really good 24-hour qualifier. We had sort of 30 odd knots of breeze. We banged up wind with 3 reefs in and a J6, and a couple of reefs in the J3. We sort of got a pretty well balanced 24 hours on the water. We got the big gear up, and R2 on the strut with the other sails inside it and what have you. So
sure.
Doing 26, 28 knots of boat speed. So we gave it a good bounce around, and came away from that with a lot of confidence back in the boat. So we're pretty happy that we're good to go in anything.
Copy.
So, but based on the current forecast, you should have just went downwind for a little bit and found a few light spots. Is that you got the same mail with the current conditions?
Yeah, well, the routing's sort of showing, 2 distinct tracks. Pretty clear, probably. The 2 big wide boats will just heat up and go offshore. The latest routings may be showing them checking back in a little earlier. Whether we go and play that game and try and hang on to them, I don't know. The high resolution models are showing more, a little more downwind for us, rather than trying to chase them offshore and not play their game too much. So, we've got to be careful, that we sail our boat to its
your numbers
and what suits us. So, that's how it's looking a little bit at the moment. But, there's no doubt we'll all slow up at times, and it's really going to be who transitions well. And a couple of years ago, the first one we did against Comanche, we put 40 miles onto them in a light patch. So that can happen either way. Whoever gets through it. These boats get going pretty quickly out the other side, and you can do a lot of damage or have a lot of damage done to you.
So that light spot's going to be the decision maker of the race, you reckon? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I think it'll play a big part in it for sure. Last year we sort of got caught on the wrong side of the shift for a day, and sort of we hung in there, and we were lucky enough to get one back to the other boats that put us back in touch with them, and we were able to get the back end of the race right.
Yeah.
And it'll still come down to probably getting around Tasman Island and, see what it looks pretty light down there. So see what that gives us. So it could all start again down there, no doubt.
That'd be interesting. Hey, Linksy, Bossy and I were in Sydney a couple of days ago, and we put our heads down one night at Pat Langley's place, which is just a couple of k's from your place, and it was so smoky. Couldn't see anything. Is it cleared up today? Can we see the boats?
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I got up this morning, and you can look right down Pittwater, see Line Island, and Barrenjoey Light. It was as clear as we've seen. So the last couple of days have been. We've seen a little bit of blue sky, and the smoke haze has definitely disappeared. It's still not your bright blue sky, but it's a lot better than it has been.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's a sigh of relief for the broadcasters, I bet, and a sigh of relief for everyone who's going to be watching it today. Of which
absolutely.
The red shirts definitely get quite a mention. So make sure you're smiling, mate.
Yeah, we'll all hopefully be smiling. We'll just try and get out clean, and as we say every year. But we'll try and do our best to do it. Our boat's in a better configuration where it's easy to sail in the harbour now. We've got rid of those dagger boards, so our acceleration out of tacks is a lot better, and we've got that downrange acceleration back that the boat used to be famous for. So we're very happy where we are. So we'll just go out and try and do our best.
One last
Beautiful,
question
mate.
from me, Linksy. Any chance you might try for a pin start?
No, I think it's always a possibility, as with Rico. But we've been working harder at starting and all that over the years. So
I was just being
we'll
cheeky.
just try and be clean and do our best, as I say, to get out cleanly. But we could be on the pin. You never know.
Good man. I remember that. I reckon I don't know if it was you or the big fella calling tactics on the Bumblebee 5 many years ago, and it's one of the best tactical upwinds through the harbour I've ever seen. So between the two of you, work it out and do it again, mate, and have a cracker.
Yeah, well, that was 2001. I think that was pretty smoky too, actually, that year. So
it was.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll do our best, and just want everyone to have a good, safe ride to Hobart, and it's an amazing fleet this year, and we're really excited to be part of it again, and especially coming back from where we were a month or so ago, where we're pumped on our team to go and have a crack against all these guys again. The teams are so good, the boats are so even now, so looking forward to it.
Good work, man.
Yep. Shoot out, Linksy.
Right.
And
boys.
best of luck for the trip south, and we look forward to some stories later.
Cheers, boys. Hope to catch up with you for a beer at some stage shortly.
All right, mate.
Absolutely. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, boys. See ya. Bye.
All right, next on the old interview list is our good friend Mr. Phil Harmer sailing on the Scallywag. Mr. Harmer.
The mighty Scallywag.
The mighty Scallywag. Sorry, bud.
It's been elevated this week, has it? To the mighty Scallywag.
Yeah, well, we're always the underdog, so I thought we'd just try and talk it up a bit more.
Love it.
Well,
and how's the how is the vibe in the Scallywag camp?
Vibe's good. I mean, I think we're pretty happy being the underdogs. The boat's probably, honestly, the boat's never looked so good, which is pretty positive, and so we're banking on a bit more reliability this year. No more bowspits breaking off.
Yep.
And just enjoying a nice trip down the coast.
I guess, she's had plenty of mileage under her this year. So
yeah, it's been a big year. Lots of sailing miles, which has been really good for us, and learned a lot about the boat and how to sail it, and modings and crossovers and all that kind of stuff. So the preparation for this race has been, it's been the best it's been for the Scallywag. So we're pretty excited about getting out there and seeing how we go against the other hundreds.
Any big mods to the boat coming into this Hobart after what has been learnt in the last few years, or just refining everything?
Yeah, just a couple of new rudders, and then just a general tidy up. And obviously we've learned a lot about sails, and we've gone to North Sails with 3DI and got some Helix on board, which has been quite a
quite a big step forward for us in the boat's performance.
Yeah.
So that's all exciting that last year we had a couple of bad days, like the big boat race, and we ended up breaking 2 spinnakers. And then we had to borrow a spinnaker off InfoTrack last race. Sure. So that was a bit of a dinosaur sort of sail. So now that we've got all the Helix 3DI on board, I think we should be a bit more competitive, and we're gonna just get in there and mix it up and hopefully turn some heads.
What? You're going to get to put those up straight out of the harbour. So I'm guessing you're just going to go be chasing VMG, go wherever it takes you at full noise for the first 24 hours or so. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think the big boats are going to rip it. There's definitely a couple of options for the hundreds, whether you do the outside option or the inside option. So, I mean, there's not a lot of difference in it, but it'll be interesting to see if the big fat boats, the Comanche and the InfoTrack, will be forced to do the outside option, whereas the skinnier boats have definitely got the option to do either.
Yep.
And still be fast, whereas the fat boats are going to have to compromise to go inside. So that'll be an interesting one to play out over the next 10 hours. But to be honest, I think if you're a betting man, you'll just see all the hundreds just stick next to each other and live to fight another day, because you're not going to win the race tonight, but you can definitely lose it.
Yeah.
Oh, good one, Phil.
I love that.
You've been working on that one, haven't you?
I've been practicing all morning waiting for this call.
Oh, I love it. So we see the skinny little fellas slide down the inside, the big ones go out offshore. You're kind of in the middle, aren't you?
I was just going to say, you're not that skinny.
Set you up quite nicely.
Yeah, we're not fat, we're not skinny. But I think we still have quite a nice VMG mode, so...
Yeah, for sure.
And, no one really knows the potential of this boat yet, so it'll be interesting to see where we are this afternoon and whether we're in the mix, and see if we're inside or outside. And, like I said, I think we'll end up just... If I could tell you right now what I would do, I would just stick with the Rykill Pew boats and then see how we go tomorrow. And obviously, once you get to Tasman Island, it's a whole new race, isn't it? So, and the way the boats aren't getting a hell of a lot quicker, and the race still starts at the same time. So there's always going to be an interesting finish to it in the Derwent because of the time of day that we get there. So unless it's a Pike and Southerly, it's a full restart. So we just got to be in there with the boat 100% ready to race, and with a crew full of energy, and you'll have a chance for the win.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, have you got media on board coming out? Because what I really want to see, I want to see one of Whitty's famous pre-Hobart speeches, just ripping the piss out of all the other boats, and we're the champions.
We are. I don't know if we do. I'm not sure if we do have anyone on board. I can put a last-minute request in for you.
Just leave your phone on during the
But we can go live on Facebook with Barkarati.
That's exactly
and
right.
Record that one, and if not, you'll always get a Tasman Island photo of Whitty in his flip flops anyway.
All right.
Yeah, love it.
But if he does do the brief and you haven't got anyone, make sure you get it onto us and we'll put it up for him.
It'll be an exclusive.
It'll be exclusive. Speaking of Whitty, he's thrown the controversy out there again.
Yeah, well, that's Whitty, isn't it?
No.
Well, in saying that, it's not exactly controversial.
No.
It's
Let's
definitely
use
not
technology that exists.
It's definitely not a dumb option. Let's put it that way. I mean,
it's probably the right call. I don't
it's
think anyone's arguing.
It's pretty reliable technology versus something that they were using in World War II. So.
And it's cheap too. You can get a sat phone. If you don't own one, you can get one pretty cheap for the race. It's not that hard anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it does make a lot of sense, but there's always the witty approach to putting it out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can get David Witt to ask, or you can ask nicely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You never die wondering with Whitty. That's the truth of it. So, how about you, mate? Any personal things? Any improvements for you? Like you've been getting super fit lately. I've noticed you've been.
I had a crack at half Ironman. I did a 70.3 about a month ago, which was. I know Bicey's done a few in his day. He didn't actually tell me what they were like.
Yeah, they're awful.
It was a hard day.
The first one's the easiest one.
Okay,
After
great.
that, you know exactly what's coming.
And you've got a time to
right
beat,
on
haven't
the
you?
spot.
But
That's
yeah,
it.
I was happy.
That's
I
right.
managed to do 4 hours 50,
Oh, good
4 hours
work, mate.
53 or something, which
Good
was
work.
I was happy with that, considering I'm a fat old prick.
That's it. That's
And
Beautiful,
then
mate.
the next thing is at the end of March, I'm doing what they call the Tour de Cure. And
Oh.
we're doing the
Yes.
signature ride,
Oh.
and we're riding from Newcastle all the way to Noosa, which is about 1,250 k's over 8 days,
it. Yeah.
and that's to
Beautiful.
raise money for research into cancer and finding a cure. So there's a good reason to do it, and I think cancer affects all of us in some shape or form, whether it's friends or family or.
Yeah.
And I've had it. My mum's just finished chemo for bowel cancer, and my grandmother passed away from it. So it's something that's been in my family. So it's a good reason to have a crack at it and raise some money. So if anyone's out there and want to make a donation, we've got a donation page which we can add the link to, and also we're going live with an online auction with some cool experiences that you can do, like a joyride on an F50 foiling 50, and things like that, and some golf days and things
Good
like
work.
this there. So we'll get all the links to that out there with you guys, and get everyone, encourage everyone to donate some cash, and think about how much you sport your kids over the last few days, and think about kids that don't get that opportunity. So.
Said well, Phil. Said well, but you can count on the Bar Karadians will 100% support that.
I know they will.
And follow the journey.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll keep you posted with how much my ass hurts.
Well,
I won't send photos though. No photos, I promise.
No photos.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Cool.
Good work. Wishing you well.
Nice one.
Awesome, Phil. Best of luck.
Thanks, guys.
Send our best to everyone on board, and
I will do. And looking forward to a post Hobart Bar Karate takedown.
All right.
Absolutely, yes.
Righto, lads. So we've spoken enough about the Line Honours stuff. Let's get on to the overall Tattersalls Cup winners, the handicap favourites. Let's have a chat to some of those guys. All right, now we hit the big time. We're going to chat to Mr. Matt Allen, owner, skipper, Itchy Barn. Winner of the Hobart race. Didn't quite get it last year, came close. Matt, welcome to Bar Karate, mate.
Here we go, rolling the dice again. Another Boxing Day. Here we go. That's exciting.
It is exciting. We had a good chat to you on episode 23, and we appreciate you taking the time again on what is probably your busiest day, mate. A lot of pressure on you. The bookies have got you in at $3.50. Have you put any money down?
Well, we're not allowed to bet on ourselves. But it's interesting. Like we're pre-race favourite. I think we've been pre-race favourite 3 years in a row now. So
Exactly.
it's just it's a roll of the dice. In a couple of different ways, because you obviously got the trough, or maybe we have to sail through the trough twice. Who knows? Through the course of early hours of the morning, and then it really depends on who gets out of that trough in good shape. There's probably going to be a bit of a compression there, but then it's really about what happens at the back end of the race. As usual, you can be in good shape at Tasman Island, and you can be in good shape or not in good shape by the time you get to the finish line. And as we know, probably better than most boats, they only score it at the finish. So there's no prizes for you were looking good at Tasman Island. There's only prizes for you actually won the race at the finish line. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge. We probably don't know what we're going to get at the back end of the race, but we should have pretty good sailing once we get through all the trough lines, and hopefully we're in good shape at Tasman Island, and then fingers crossed from there.
So Bossy and I have actually worked out next year we're going to do the Hobart as a double-hander in a McGregor 26, and when we get to the Derwent, we're just going to put the outboard in and fly across, water ski across.
Yeah, I was thinking you might choose something a little bigger than a 26-footer, but anyway, you can talk to the CYC about that.
Oh, nothing will touch a McGregor.
But they are quick. They are quick under sort of outboard.
That's right. Exactly. Now, any special preparation, mate, for the Ichiban team, or is it just follow the process?
Yeah, look, we've changed a number of things, each year. We're certainly, we've spent a lot of time on sort of sail development and sail selection for this year's race. We've also put a new rudder in the boat that allows us to push the boat a bit harder, reaching and running, and also give us a little less pressure on the helm, so it sort of doesn't wear the body out quite as quickly as the old rudder. Yep. And so those developments have sort of helped us a bit, and the rest of it sort of, I don't know, 100, one percenters, they're probably less than one percenters, but 100 of those all mixed in, and hopefully that makes a difference to the whole thing, and allows us to sail the boat and get to that last big corner, ahead of the pack. And I mean, an amazing group of boats in that sort of 45 to 55 foot range, best quality fleet you'll find anywhere in the world, and just got to put yourself in good shape against the rest of those guys.
Absolutely, and the crew list hasn't changed much over the last few years, so you'd be pretty confident in who you've assembled to ensure that you stay ahead of that.
Yeah, look, right? We've got a great squad. A lot of us have been sailing together for years. There's always one or two changes in and out. We've got Rob Greenhull, who's from Map Free in the last round the world race, and he's been sailing with us sort of. Last year's Hobart was sort of his sort of beginning with us, and so he's a great addition to the crew. And Will Oxley and Anthony Merrington and Will Oxley and Dick Parker, and so we've got a lot of experience on board, a lot of ocean racing, a lot of round the worlds, a lot of Hobarts, and we've even we've got people from South Australia on board. Got to give the South Australians a bit of a rap. We've got Victorians, Queenslanders. I guess Gordon Maguire is still from Ireland. Rob Greenhull from Great Britain. So. We're a bit of a United Nations, but mostly Aussies or people living in Australia, obviously.
Yeah, certainly. And speaking of number of Hobarts, what number is it again for you?
Oh, this is number 30 for me. So
beautiful.
Well, I don't know when you become a veteran, but I reckon 30 is probably pretty close.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
definitely.
So.
Like you said, a real quality fleet in that size, and there's not only that, you've probably got, 11 TPs or something in the race, so you've got how you become number one in such a tight element like the number one favourite. You must be sailing your boat really well, as we know you are. Who do you reckon the other threat is in that sort of, that group?
Well, I think, it's interesting because, Guaylo, Celestial and ourselves all rate the same.
Yep.
So, we're probably, they're all slightly different boats, but probably all round, we're probably, we've sort of been able to beat them on the water most of the time. But, Guaylo's getting better and better. They're sailing the boat well, making less mistakes than they used to. So, that puts them in the hunt. Zen rate's a little lower, slightly heavier bulb, probably a bit better upwind, but maybe they might compress in on us a couple of times, but it's really not an upwind race. No. So, so look, it's just going to be on. My old boat, Envy Scooters, I think they've reduced their sail area a little bit, but she's a really quick reaching and running boat, so pretty suitable for this year and got a lot of good people on board. So, look, it's just going to be on in the TPs, and it'll be a matter of sort of, with a lot of boats rating the same, just be a matter of who gets the little break and can consolidate that break, and it'll be just inches in it, I'd reckon. But it'd be fascinating to watch, and the best. Some of the Super Series blokes were saying to me, why don't you come and do the Super Series? I was going, well, we got more TPs racing in Australia than in the Super Series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So, fantastic.
Cool. All right,
awesome, Matt. Well, best of luck turning right at the heads, and send our bar karate best to the rest of the crew, and have a good one.
Yeah, great to have a chat, guys, and thanks for that. We all know what the Hobart's about. You got to have, great boat, great crew, and you need more than a few ounces of luck as well. All mixed in. So keep our fingers crossed and see how we go.
Cool, mate.
Absolutely, mate.
All right, bud.
Excellent. Cheers, Matt.
See you guys. Bye.
See you, mate.
See ya. Bye.
Okay, with the handicap fleet, obviously last year's winner was a boat called Alive. We're chatting now to one of our other friends, Brad Ferrand, who is on board. Welcome, buddy. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, thanks. Good to be here and ready to go.
Yeah. Well,
Bloody hell, we got another Kiwi on.
I know.
Yeah, we're actually doing well for the Trans-Tasman relationships.
That's it.
So
We don't
just had
discriminate.
Tony Mutter on, Brad. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, but you
Big time.
must be getting pretty excited. The weather looks pretty good for you guys, I'd say.
Yeah, no, we've got a pretty good lineup by the looks of it. We're plenty of downwind stuff, and that's what we love. And reaching stuff isn't so breezy, so it looks all right for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I guess the excitement from last year's win coming into this Hobart, there's no stone unturned, ready to roll.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just a few upgrades on the crew and a few upgrades on the boat, and it's looking pretty good, I reckon.
Cool, man.
So
Good.
one of the things we're hearing when we talk to the Line Honours, we're doing a bit of a feature on Line Honours and then a feature on the handicap winners. All the Line Honours talk is the wide boats going out to sea and the narrow boats, so Reichel Pew boats, which is what you guys are, heading, maybe doing a bit of VMG running. Have you had that discussion on board? Has he dropped out?
You always ask the bloody technical questions, don't you?
And the tactical ones, they run away. It's quite funny. Are you there, Brad?
Sorry, fellas, you just cut out there.
Yeah, no, that's all part of the joke.
Yeah, all I got was one of the things.
I asked you the strategy because, the Reichel Pew boats being narrow, and we're hearing from the Maxis that they may go the VMG running rather than punching it out to sea. And is that the same strategy for you guys?
That's a discussion we're having on board. Some of the models are saying to punch offshore for an hour or two and then take it deep. But it might suit us to go a little bit deeper. But yeah, we'll kind of see how it all pans out there. And if there's too chopped up inshore, we'll go offshore and try and get some clear air and a bit more breeze, and then get into the VMG a little bit later.
Yeah. What about the other handicap threats? Are you keeping your eyes on those? Have you got a list of targets, or you just it's all about you and just sailing your boat hard? Yeah.
It's a bit cliche, but we're just going to say our own race and not really keep an eye on anybody else. Just do the best we can and kind of learn as we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was just going to
slide pretty nicely down there in the VMG stuff. So, who else is around your length or in what sailing in the same water? Is anyone, or are you a bit of an outlier, right? You can almost by yourselves.
We're a little bit of an outlier, yeah. There's a couple of boats that are a little bit kind of should be hopefully behind us. The 62s, 64, 66, 65s, and that. But hopefully we're kind of out ahead of those guys and behind the hundreds.
What's that 72?
Hope the same as last year, it kind of suits our forecast.
The 72, was it USM or UGM or something? Do you remember, Bice, that one?
Yeah, the BYO.
Hang on the back of their tail, mate. That's the go. Aim for a 72 and you'll be away.
Yeah. If we can keep up with the 72, we'd be laughing.
But I think she's a well-sailed one, that one. BYO. I can't remember what the name is off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember quick while we're talking, but BYO is a good name, Bice. You're a funny man. All right, so what about
what
for you?
do you reckon the other guys are doing? You reckon they're all going VMG straight off the bat?
Well, we had a bit of a mix. They reckon the wide boats will be heading straight offshore, like going fast and trying to stay in the breeze, and with the narrow boats probably heading more VMG downwind and probably scallywag a little bit in between.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
I think a couple of the bigger boats think they're going to try and get around the outside of the ridge is one of the thoughts that's going on. But we'll see. What about you, mate? Are you all ready to go? Like, you all 100% fit? No problems?
Yeah, no problems here. We're pretty happy with our crew. We got on board, good bunch of lads, and we've got KPN here navigating for us, so it can't go wrong.
Oh, beautiful, hey? The local legend. Awesome.
Just watch out for them.
Just take note of some little capeisms on the way down.
Yes.
And we'll catch up post-race for give us the best best capies.
some capeisms. Yeah, all right.
Cool.
He's staring at me now, so yeah, I'll keep a notebook handy.
Yeah. Ask him.
Cool, man.
Ask him his view of the cop story in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I know it, but I'll ask
Yeah.
so the rest of the crew find it out.
That's a good idea. All right, man. Have a great trip. Best of luck, and hopefully you get a win.
Yep. Thanks, fellas. Yeah, fingers crossed,
Yeah.
and we'll see you the other end.
Best of luck, mate. Have a good one.
Bossy, BP's just sent me a note. He's got someone he's chatting to there. BP, who have you got, mate?
Jordan Bossy on the dock walk. Bumped into a couple of absolute legends of the sport, and we all know them very well on bar karate, young cannons, and Simon Cunnington. So, boys, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Great to be on this podcast. Dream come true.
Oh, there you go. How good's that? Simon, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Getting older, though.
We're all doing that. But, hey, look, it's going to be a great race. Obviously, the TP52s is always the exciting class. I'm not going to ask a question about the weather because that's what everyone's asking, but it just looks like it's going to be a nice race so far.
Yeah, very nice indeed. We're taking the extra beers this year. I think also the Barbie's going to get a good run. I've definitely packed a few extra hamburgers this year. I think it can spark up the Barbie and really get the smell going around the TP52 fleet. Really send a shiver down their spine that Cannons is out there.
Oh, well, there you go. You've heard it first on Bar Karate. Hey, we've got an oven, so we're having roast.
Oh, very nice. I was thinking about the roast.
Yeah, good on you. So basically, Guelo's had a good season. You must be pretty confident, Simon.
We think we've got all the right pieces in place, but there's probably 4 or 5 boats that'll do pretty well. Obviously, Ichiban, Celeste, Envy Scooters. So we've just been putting a late bet on Envy Scooters about 5 minutes ago, so you'll be happy to know that.
Oh, that's a scary word. What do you call it, that betting? So anyway, we'll move on from that. Anything else you want to add? I mean, obviously we're all pretty pumped up. It's the 75th Sydney to Hobart. The feeling's electric. There's so many boats here, 160 on the start line. It's pretty still the great race and the greatest race in the world.
You're definitely right about that. It's a very good feeling down the Yacht Club today, and it's amazing the amount of people here and it's names that you've seen and that you haven't seen for a while. So I'm looking forward to Tasmania, that's for sure.
Yeah, so is Squarky. I don't know if you heard the other day. He was mentioning he was going to have a little burn-off down there. What does that mean?
I think it's a fundraiser for the fireys. He's going to every rum and coke he drinks, he's going to put $20 to the cause, I've heard. So that's a great idea, Squark. Well done.
$20 for every rum and coke that Squarky drinks. He is going to donate to whatever cause we decide at the time. Cheers. Hey, good one, guys. Have a great race. I'll see you down there.
Thanks, BP. You too. Look after yourself. Have a good one.
Thanks, VP. Cheers.
G'day guys, sorry about the wind noise, but we're actually out on a boat on the harbour. There's no bias in this one at all. I'm out on Envy Scooters, which is actually the boat I'm sailing on. I'm with the skipper, Barry Cuneo. Welcome, Barry, to Bar Karate.
Yeah, thanks very much, BP. It's a pleasure to and an honour to be on this great site, and the things are looking pretty good today.
Yeah, look, it's an amazing fleet in general, 160 boats. 11 of those TP52s, am I correct?
Yeah, there's 11 TP52s or variations of that, and we're obviously one of the ones that's been doing really well this year. So we're expecting to go out there and give it our best shot. The weather's looking really good for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it, the weather? You sort of take it as it comes all the way until the last day, and there's now looks like there's some solid information to work on. So obviously the plan is to have a good start and get out there and then consolidate them, and that's racing really, isn't it? Get to the top mark first and extend.
Well, one of the great things that they've done is that they have put us, we were all a bit concerned about where we were going to be starting, which line. They have put us on the first line with the 100 footers, and that's really great for the fleet of TPs because they're all about the same, and it keeps us away from all the other boats. So we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, copy that. And you said you've had a good year. Could you just expand a little bit on that? Obviously, Envy Scooters has been a 2-year program for you. You've been building it up since you bought the boat, and now this year you've had some great results.
Yeah, well, we actually started it right back in about 2007 or 2008 with the Par 40, and then we had a big program with the Melgers 32, and ended up doing pretty well. But it was well, we did very well with that. But the thing we've always worked on is just incremental improvements. When we got this boat, this will be the third Hobart in this boat. We basically bought it without a mast in it and no sails, and we've with the team that we've built, that's the most important part. We've just done small improvements over the period. 2019 has seen some really solid results. We've actually done 4 events. We got 3 firsts and 1 second in IRC, including the wins in Brisbane to Gladstone, and also we won the Sydney to Gold Coast. So we've actually come up and found that we've got the speed and the crew to be able to win, and it's given the boat a great boost.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, I'll let you get back to your preparations. I've got to do mine. It's a bit strange, this one. We're actually sitting on the same boat, and if I say good luck to you, I'm saying good luck to me, and have a good race.
Yeah, well, good luck to you, BP. I hope you do really well. I hope you win.
I hope you win too. Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
All right, Bossy. So there's some interesting conversations there. Thanks to all those people that take time on probably their busiest morning. Any key messages you're picking up out of those discussions, mate?
Yeah, I think, well, the 100-footers are kind of a fleet amongst the fleet, so they'll go off and do their own things. But not only that, you have the split between the big wide boats and the narrow boats. So that's going to be the interesting one to tell what's going to happen. And we'll know that at about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock this afternoon. And then it's going to be a matter of the smaller boats who's going to get across that ridge and poke their nose out the other side and ready to put the foot down to Hobart up the Derwent.
Yeah, so there's sort of 3 decision paths, isn't there? So it'll be, the first one will be after the start, watching where they go, whether they start to split wide. Then it'll be how they go through that ridge and then through the Derwent. There's sort of going to be the 3 major decision points in the race, yeah?
Yeah, I think the smaller boats, they probably don't have that choice to go wide because they'll never make it round the edge of the ridge.
No.
Just not quick enough. Maybe the 2 big wide boats, possibly. But that's going to be the telling part, and then it's a matter of choosing the narrowest light spot to try and get across.
Yeah, so we'll do. I mean, for the line honours, I guess there's 3 elements, but I guess I was thinking with the coverage we'll see on TV, it'll be all the line honours boats. We'll never see anybody else. So, so with that, we'll see that element. But they're just getting through that ridge. Real tactical battle, great tactical battle in those sort of 50 foot, 40 foot boat range. There's going to be quite a bit. Obviously, watch whether Alive pops through and jumps out, some of those sorts of things. But I just can't wait to see it all unfold. I really can't. It should be a good battle. We want to try and do a daily update. Have we agreed on that or not?
Yep.
Yeah,
we are now.
Yeah, so because we're super professional in the way we do this, we should have we're having the discussion now. So we'll do a daily update, and I reckon we should record it in the morning so people
have the day to listen
to it,
so we can talk about the overnight stuff as well.
Yeah.
So why don't we? Yeah, we'll do that first thing tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Then people can jump on during the day.
Yeah. That's our plan. So morning Sydney time, obviously. So that's it, yeah. Barkarati, just trying to do it. Remember, we're just doing this for fun. So if you don't like it, send money.
Send money.
That's it. and otherwise, just send us some encouragement and share it with your friends, hey, because then hopefully they get some value out of it. Good to speak to you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. You too. Merry Christmas, and we'll be chatting tomorrow morning.
Look forward to it. Love to your family, bud.
Love your work. See you, mate.
See you, mate.
Nothing in front but a picture black